Welcome back to the Hoopers Paradise podcast, where you're going to get real thoughts and opinions from fans who love the game, brought to you by your Hoopers' favorite Hoopers. I got my mans with me, man. We got Mr. CP905 in the building, the East End, West End legend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The busiest man in show business is back, baby.
He's back. He's back.
Mr. MC Casey, fresh off a flight, fresh off a tan. How'd you enjoy your time off, brother? Was it good?
It was good. It was well needed, man. Well needed.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it, man. We gonna jump right into this one today. I'm really excited. We got a bunch of NBA topics to come across, man. So the first one I want to talk about, which has been on everybody's mind, and if you're a hooper, a real hooper, this is another guy who's a hooper's favorite hooper. Kevin Durant is back. 21 game absence, been off for over a month. The Brooklyn Nets stunk up the place without him. Lost Harden in the process. Ben Simmons still ain't on the court. Like, CP, tell me about this kind of Brooklyn Kevin Durant situation. Like,
first off, I just want to say that guy missed 21 games and came back and scored 30. Like
31.
Like, bro, like he didn't miss a beat. That's that. I need people to understand like how difficult that is to do, to just come on an NBA basketball court and score 30. And he did that after not playing for 21 games. That guy is amazing, man. But I mean, Brooklyn's gonna go on a run. Before they got injured, they were the best team in the East. Now I think they've gotten even better. We just got to get everybody on the court to be able to see the product. But I'm not Brooklyn. It don't matter if Brooklyn's in 8th or because whoever sees Brooklyn full first round at full strength is losing. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, like, I don't know. I'm gonna go to McCasey on this one because I'm a little bit interested in just hearing like different perspectives of the Brooklyn Nets right now.
Well, what I would say is this Dragic pickup, everything that's going on with Kyrie not being able to play home games. So you have another guard. So you have Seth Curry just focusing on, being the scorer that he is. And you have Dragic handling the ball. But now with Kevin Durant coming back, like when you look at the stat sheet, he was 9 for 9 on the free throw. So that's taking care of things there. But he was 10 for 21 field goal range. Right, he was 2 for 7 on 3-pointers. So him coming back from that is not bad. That's what he does. It's Kevin Durant. These guys work on their craft each and every day. You know what I mean?
This is where I'm going to say,
dynamic. That guy's a game changer. Like, you could drop him into any program, any system, and they automatically become contenders. That guy's just a walking 30-point, 7 rebounds. I like 8 rebounds, 5 assists.
And he's been balling. I had him as MVP before he got hurt. The only thing that I say Brooklyn's playing with fire is right now they're the 8th seed in the East. Correct.
Yeah.
The Raptors, Boston, Cleveland are the teams that are ahead of them that they're chasing. Right now they're 2.5 games back of the Raptors. Mm-hmm. Let's say they never actually catch the Raptors or any of those teams and they finish 8th. They now have to play a playing game at home. Let's say Ben Simmons doesn't come back and they play at home and that vaccine mandate doesn't get lifted. They got to most likely play Charlotte or Atlanta at home.
So how the playing goes, it's like 8 and 7 play for 7th place, right? And then 10 and 9 play for a chance for 8th. And then the loser of the 7th, 8th would play for 8th against the winner of 9 and 10.
But I'm saying, like, I'm going based off of the aspect
does Brooklyn
let's say they go lose to like Toronto. Let's say they go lose to Boston or Cleveland.
If only Kevin Durant's there, they're not making the playoff. Well, it'll be difficult. It'll be difficult for them to make the playoffs. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not the type of guy to bet against Kevin Durant. Look what he did in that Milwaukee series, right? But it will for sure be difficult. I mean, Atlanta's a team that's been there. Toronto's a team that recently coming off an NBA championship. Boston's a team that's been there. The only team that I could see them really bullying or taking advantage of, because from an experience standpoint, is Cleveland. They don't have the knowledge yet from a playing experience standpoint to know what it is to get over the hump at that point in time. And what proved that to me is last year when you look at that play-in game, the Hornets came out. I can't remember who they played first, but the Hornets came out and they got blown up by 20. They weren't ready for that playoff type of atmosphere. And I think Cleveland is in that same boat. Yeah, they're having a magical season, you know, but playoffs is a little different. So
definitely something to watch. I'm definitely ain't trying to bet against KD and Kyrie and those Nets. I hoping Ben Simmons gets back on the floor soon for McCasey's fantasy team also. But they're going to be a very interesting, exciting team to watch when they're all healthy. Mm-hmm. And I know we're all praying to see that Philly versus Brooklyn matchup in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. That's just how the paths are lined up right now, because Brooklyn's in 8th, Philadelphia's in 2nd. They're in the opposite side of the brackets.
Yep. So that'd be exciting to watch.
They'll meet.
So we got those Nets. And they're probably the most talked about team in the East. They're also still favored by Vegas to win the East, even though they're the 8th seed, which is crazy, right? Like, they're favored. And the team that is actually the number 1 seed in the East is a team that nobody talks about. They're just quietly winning games. They quietly beat Brooklyn the other night without Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry. And that's that Heat Nation, Heat culture, man. Like, Pat Riley way. Heat culture. It needs to make sense to me that these guys can be winning so much, and not be talked about and be seen as essentially the 4th best team in the East. Vegas odds are like what people talk about. McCasey was in the building, I believe, right?
Yeah.
What was that Miami Heat team like? What do they look like in person?
Bam is a defensive player. Like, he gets after it. And here's the thing, right? Like, everyone talks about, you know, a team being at home. Well, once the arena starts screaming for, like, you know, defense, or like a lot of people out there love Tyler Hero. They love Tyler Hero. So as soon as he gets the basketball in his hand, it's like, all right, well, if he shoots it, we're expecting him to get it in, right? So on average, like, I think the game that I went to against the Spurs, I know they didn't have some team or some players, but going into the 4th quarter, you know, they were up by like 15 because the Heat they base their game off of runs, and if they go on a run, those guys are feeling it. No, they, like, as I said, if the Heat have at least 6 players with 15 or more points on the stat sheet, they're most likely winning that game, and they have closers too. So.
They're a special team, Casey. Like, we're talking about a team that had a big absence of Kyle Lowry this season, a big absence of Jimmy Butler this season, and right now, without those 2 top guys for a long period of time in the season, they're sitting at 1st in the East at 42-22 on the season. In their last 10 games, they're 8-2. CP, man, like, I don't think we've seen a team like this in a while who can, like, lose their top guys and kind of, like, keep trucking along like nothing has happened. 1st in East, and usually those are the teams with like 4 or 5, like 3 all-stars. I mean, they had one all-star this year, and it just continues to look good.
We kind of saw like a little sample size with Memphis, right? When Ja Morant went out for a little bit, and if they went on 10-game win streak or something like that. But it just shows that they're a good team. But my problem with Miami, when I look at them, is like they're missing something. I kind of compare them to when Utah was at the top of the standings, and nobody kind of like was talking about them because they're missing something when it comes down to the playoffs. In those moments, I know Jimmy Butler's that guy. Don't get me wrong, right? He's that guy. But to me, they're just missing something. That's why there's the odds skip over them.
They have Lowry.
I was going to say that they added Kyle Lowry this offseason, which is a lot different than Goran Dragic in his like 15th year.
He changes the game so much. Like, I remember when Lowry was on the Raptors. Like, I see, like, in the stadium, you can see guys, like, if Lowry takes a charge or if Lowry gets a steal, you can see in the crowd and everyone's just like, thank you. Like, thank you. Let's go. Lowry hit a shot. It's just like, you remember how randomly Lowry would come out, dribble on the move, and then shoot a 3? And then, yes, Miami's up by 6 or Miami's up by 7. The fans are just like, man, we haven't seen this in a while from a guard, right? Yes, Jimmy Butler, he's not shooting threes, but he's getting those gritty baskets. But then Lowry's that guy. But I hear what CP's saying. There's like something missing because you look at Bam, and we're not looking at height here, but Bam is what, 6'8", 6'9"? But then it's just like, what else does Miami need to then get them over like Milwaukee or Brooklyn Nets or even the Philadelphia 76ers, even though they've beaten the 76ers in the playoffs to get to that Eastern Conference Finals, right?
Yeah.
Or even to the finals, right? So
I think what find them interesting is I don't know if they're missing anything. I think they have everything they need. I think what we want to all see is Bam gonna be that second all-star when playoff time comes around?
That's not his role. But Bam is a defense first guy. Anything he gives you on offense is found money. Now, the reason that maybe from my perspective, just hearing you guys speak and thinking about it a little bit, like I look at it like it's Tyler Hero's the one that kind of closes the games for them, right? If Jimmy Butler has it going, yeah, no problem. But Tyler Hero closes the games. Is he going to win you a playoff series against Milwaukee?
Yeah, that's where I want to see Bam, because I think Bam has more of an offensive game than you realize. I watched him beat up on the Brooklyn Nets the other night. His numbers look great
in the regular season.
He can. That's what I said. Like that, I think that's what they're missing. Is Bam going to take that next step in the playoffs? Because I think if he does, that's a very scary team, and they got Victor Oladipo coming back on Monday.
That's the thing I agree about with Casey about, but for a different reason in regards to Kyle Lowry. I think Kyle Lowry makes Bam a far better basketball player than if he's not there, right? Mm-hmm. But is it enough? Is it enough? If you're 3 minutes to go and you're down 4 to Milwaukee at home in Game 7, and you throw Bam the ball on the post and you sprint a double team at him, is he going to make the right decision? It's those type of things that concern me.
That is the part of his game that I actually love. The way he distributes the rock. I think Milwaukee doesn't throw the double team at him. Is that is the real thing. Is I want to see what he does one-on-one against a Giannis, one-on-one against a Bobby Portis in the post. Or
we were saying the same thing about DeAndre Ayton. We wanted to see how that was going to go one-on-one with Giannis, and you have to send you have to send another guy.
No, you were talking about Bam on offense. I'm saying like you throw the ball to Bam on the block, and he's going up against like Giannis is guarding him or Bobby Portis. I don't think they go and throw that double team. So I'm curious to see because his game's developed to a point where like he can go get you a bucket. I think he can, but we got to see it in the playoffs, right?
I don't think so. If you put Giannis on him, I think he's going to struggle.
Okay. That's one that we like. It seems like we all are on this. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's not overexcite the situation, and that's kind of how Vegas sees it too.
For sure.
And while the Heat culture, the Riley's way is what CP likes to call it. Riley's way is trending up. Golden State Warriors are trending down without Draymond. They've really struggled in the last couple weeks. Andrew Wiggins has struggled. Steph has struggled at times shooting the ball. I don't feel like they're getting the same production they were from Jordan Poole. We're starting to see how much Draymond means to that team, and that he is a all-star and he is a Hall of Famer in so many ways.
This might not be a hot take, but Draymond Green is the de facto point guard for that team. He initiates all the offense. So look at all the championship contenders. Take their starting point guard away and tell me how their team will do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So a lot. Steph and Clay run off of pin downs, brush screens, flare screens, all types of different screens to be able to get them stuff open. Their first role is to score, put the ball in the basket. Draymond's first role is to facilitate, put everybody in their spots, lead the team vocally and defensively. And it just with a guy that does so much for your team, it's going to be, where are they replacing that?
Yeah, and like I just find it interesting, and I gotta like, as much as we highlighted him as a player, I gotta call out guys like Andrew Wiggins, who had a really, really, really bad February. I got to call out guys like Jordan Poole, who I think was looking like a 6th man of the year candidate, other than like obviously the obvious pick Tyler Hero, who's really, really struggling over the last little bit. And it's those guys who need to step up in Draymond's absence.
Draymond is the guy. Okay, so how do I best describe this? Let's use Wiggs for example, right? Wiggs is a better basketball player when he's put in his spot instead of getting to his spot, because that's a difference in 5 dribbles. And I think when you take away Draymond Green, right, that facilitates that. You now, Wiggins, instead of getting the ball in the mid post, he's getting a 3-point line. So now he needs to move to get to his spot. Then he needs to continue a dribble to now get into his move. Same thing with Stephen Curry. It's not, there's nobody that gets him the ball. I've seen video, those guys played together so long, like Draymond Green passes the ball in spots where Steph Curry should be, and Steph Curry's not even looking. When he turns around, the ball's in his hands. Like, they have that type of chemistry. And when you take that away and then you try and replicate that with, I don't even know who they use, Iguodala, but can he do that at a high level like Draymond like that? I don't think so.
Okay.
So you're gonna lose some games because now you become guardable.
This would be my counterpoint to that. Just because I'm interested in this, and McCasey, I'm gonna go to you after this counterpoint just to kind of get a better understanding here. We just talked about the Heat Nation and Heat culture.
Yeah.
Who were missing their point guard for a while. Who were missing Jimmy Butler for a while also. They kept trucking along. So
you're playing in the East though.
Which is the better conference right now?
Not okay. What's their schedule? What's the toughness of their schedule to know who they're playing with those guys out? Yeah.
Well, like I say, regardless, you're gonna have to play somebody tough if you're at the top of the East, like consistently all year. They've been the top 3.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I gotta put some onus on Steph. I gotta put some onus on Wiggins being all-stars this year, being all-star starters to add to it. And we did highlight Wiggins as he deserved it. So he has to also get some criticism for not stepping up with Draymond now. I don't know. McCasey, am I completely off on this one?
Well, we got to remember how Wiggins got into the All-Star, right? He's doing his job. He is an All-Star. However, he was an All-Star with Klay Thompson out. Now Klay Thompson is back, right? So when you have guys like Poole now trying to figure out his role without Klay Thompson there, it's just like, okay, you know what? He's obviously going to struggle now. But we got to remember that, the last 3 games, Golden State has lost to the Mavericks twice, right? I think they've lost to a lot of West teams, and any sort of West like teams that are like OKC or the Kings, they've obviously come up with wins, but they're still second in the West, right? So these losses are like, okay, cool, all right, like let's get it together. We lost by 5, lost by 6, lost by 7, but now it's just like, all right, Draymond, when you come in, okay, the team without Draymond, let's figure this out. We're in second right now. Whoever's on top of us, I believe that's Phoenix Suns. All right, cool. Like, what are we going to do here? But when we look at Wiggins now, it's just like Wiggins has been doing the same thing from the beginning of the season, but we have to ask ourselves, how did he get to the All-Star game? That's the main thing.
Yeah, I feel you. I would say that we agreed he was an all-star, whether he was a starter or not, but his numbers significantly dropped. But I'm gonna take you guys' word for it. I do think they're gonna drop to 3rd in the West. I do think they're gonna lose the 2nd seed and they're gonna drop to 3rd in the West if they continue to play like this, because Memphis is coming.
Yeah.
So that's just something to look at. When we talk about Memphis now, man, this gets interesting. MVP conversation. I've been tooting the Ja Morant horn all season. I did call him a dark horse to win MVP for a while now, and it's starting to look very, very believable. But there's so many candidates this year. I think this MVP is going to go down to the wire when you talk about Ja, talk about DeMar, you talk about Joel, who I think is the front runner right now. You talk about Jokic. You could talk about. Is there anybody else we could throw in there?
To be honest with you, it's not really, to me, it's a 2-man race right now. If you're talking today between Joel Embiid and Ja Morant.
Okay.
DeRozan has fell off a little bit as the Bulls had lost some right now. a couple games. Right now they've lost 4 in a row, Chicago Bulls. So it kind of puts a damper on those numbers that DeMar's putting up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right now, to me, the front runner is Joel Embiid. Second, I'm gonna go with Ja Morant, and third, DeMar DeRozan slipped to third.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a random name in there because I think that he's making a late push.
Who's that?
And that's Luka Doncic.
Nah.
Who's moved this team to 5th in the West. And you know how like these seedings are this year. He can end up bumping up all the way to 3rd or 4th if they continue at this pace.
Yeah, he's making a push, but he's top 5.
Yeah.
He's top 5, he's top 5, but his season started off way too slow. Like he started off mad slow to begin the season. It's now he's starting to look like he's getting a little bit of shape, starting to look like he's starting to turn it up a little bit, but he's in a conversation for sure. But to me, man, it's hard to go against Joel Embiid. Everything that man's been dealing with for this season, to keep that team in the top 6 position afloat, to now you look like you have your final pieces that you're making your push towards your championship run. Mm-hmm. And you're now sitting 2nd on your way to 1st. They'll finish 1st in the East for sure.
Well, I got to see on that one. The way Miami trucking, getting back Victor Oladipo,
that's going to be an adjustment period, though. They're going to lose some games.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see because I don't know how much they're expecting out of Victor, but I find that to be interesting that we're talking about. Pardon me?
Are you starting him or are you bringing him off the bench?
I don't know. We got to see, but I don't see a lot of minutes coming out right off the bat. McCasey, who you got as who's your top 5 MVP guys right now then?
I'll go Joel, I'll go Ja, Giannis. I gotta put Kevin Durant up in there, and then obviously Jokic. Like those are the 5 guys.
Those are your 5 guys.
Like in order. Like, we can debate, but I know Joel and Ja are like just looking at the standings and then looking at their gameplay. Like we can't talk about LeBron, but LeBron's been doing amazing. But like the team is obviously down there, right? But then who do we account? We can't account for anyone on the Phoenix Suns, but the Phoenix Suns
that was gonna be my point after you finished talking. That this might be a very interesting race at the fact that the Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat are well in 1st place and have been the 2 best teams in their respective conferences all year.
No.
And they have no MVP contenders right now.
Yeah. Okay, yes, correct.
Like they've been undoubtedly the 2 most consistent and best teams in their selective conferences all year. And not one MVP candidate. I just find that to be very, very interesting.
Because remember the NBA it's a political game. Who's your household name?
I guess you could just say Jimmy, and then in Phoenix, you can go Chris Paul or Devin Booker.
Those are not household names. Devin Booker, as good as he is, still struggles to make All-Star games. As good as he is.
I think he struggles to be an All-Star starter. I don't think he struggles to make the games anymore.
Yeah, but if it was really how it should be, Devin Booker should be starting at the 2.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm trying to say? Just if you're talking about winning, skill, he fits the bill, right? But it's not about that. You household names are the ones that's going to get pushed. And I know Casey said Giannis. You could say that name every year, and the voters get what's it called, voters fever or something like that, where they vote
voters
for them
fatigue right there.
Yeah, they voters fatigue. Sorry, where they vote too much. Giannis saying they just based on, to me, NBA loves a good story. So Ja Morant or Joel Embiid, especially with the story of everything, how it's happened, especially if he comes out against Brooklyn and gives them a 40 and 12.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that game.
I'm going to go my top 5 to be Joel, Ja. I'm going to throw Jokic at 3. I'm going to round it up with Giannis and DeMar. I think Giannis has made a push over the last little bit. Like you said, Chicago's lost some games, and MVP is kind of like a week-to-week, day-by-day type award when you're kind of going through the season. I think Giannis has kind of surpassed DeMar in the last little bit because the numbers have just been consistent and just dominant. Like he just consistently dominates the game. Joel, like we've seen all season. But Jokic, I know it's a weird pick. I think right now they are 6th in the West, but the season this man is having, and on top of that, who he's playing with, well, it's almost like I completely forgot Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. were not playing basketball this year.
Yeah, literally.
Like I completely forgot the way like he's just kept those guys afloat. If you're talking about keeping a team afloat, he's done that with guys like Monte Morris. So like he lost his starting point guard and his backup point guard at one point. And he's just still just trucking along. He lost his 2 guard for a while at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how he's doing it, but he's having one of the greatest offensive seasons we've ever seen. I still don't think he's the best big in the league. I'm going to still get that to Joel for right now, and I still got Joel. It looks like undoubtedly we all have Joel as the front runner right now and who we think is going to win MVP. So if you had to bet your money right now, you're betting we know we got big-time Casey money, so we're going to say we're betting $50K. We're betting $50K on your MVP selection. You just went to the bank, you took out the 50, and you had to go to Vegas and put the money on the MVP. Who you got?
I'm going Joel Embiid. Barring injury, I'm going Joel Embiid.
Okay. Casey.
You know, it's a Biggs world, man, so I'm giving it to Joel Embiid.
All right, so I'm gonna mess up this whole thing then, and I'm gonna say Ja Morant.
That's not a bad pick. You can't be mad at that. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ja Morant. Just I think they'll start resting Joel Embiid down the stretch.
I think the NBA doesn't give it to him because they don't think he's ready yet.
But that's what makes Ja so cool. It's like I'm not waiting for my time.
No, I'm coming in. I'm taking that
now.
Yeah, but
like that's what I like about it.
But they
like
still
my
got to
time
present
is
it
now.
to him. You know, they still got to present it to him. I don't think the NBA, just like the NBA didn't want LaMelo Ball to be an all-star because he's not ready yet. Just like I don't think they give it to him yet.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one, man.
Yeah.
Man, this is my last question that I got, man. Then we're gonna wrap this one up. This is a quick one. Since we keep talking about money, let's say you got some very, very, very expensive courtside seats that only McCasey can afford. And
I'm telling you, man.
You got some really, really expensive courtside seats given to you, courtesy of the
McCasey Way,
McCasey Foundation.
Hell yeah.
You got some real expensive tickets from the I Am Aware Foundation.
There you go.
Yeah, we got some real expensive tickets from the I Am Aware Foundation, and you got to go to any game to watch a specific player, not a team, just a player. What player are you watching, CP, this
playing
season?
right now? Like playing right now?
Right now. I know it's a tough one.
In my heart, I want to say LeBron. In my heart, I want to say LeBron, but to pay money, I mean, it's going to be a toss-up between Ja and Giannis. Those guys put on a show, boy. Or maybe KD. Ooh.
I can't have a toss-up. You throwing out names, man. We need one. You throwing out names, brother.
I'll pay to see KD.
KD?
Nah, I'll pay to see Ja Morant.
Ja Morant?
I'll go with Ja. I'll pay to see Ja.
He's going with Ja. McCasey.
That guy's electrifying.
We got one for
Ja. So my thing is I want to see these guys in their element. I don't want to watch these guys in Toronto. So my whole thing is getting on a flight and watching them at home. And for me, yeah, you guys start talking about McCasey and all that stuff. So I'm the whole experience, right?
Jump on the private jet.
No.
Jump on
American Airlines, first class.
My gosh, man.
So my two top guys, I love energy. And Joel Embiid gives me energy, and especially with that guy they just got, James Harden, I think that home vibe is going to be crazy. So I'd spend my money to go to Philadelphia and watch Joel Embiid. Yeah, that's me.
Now I like that pick. Joel's entertaining, man. He keeps that game entertaining. He's a competitor, and he's one of those guys who's gonna give it to you day in and day out. Obviously bearing injury because we know the history, but if that man's not hurt, he's going to be on the court and he's going to be giving 100. So I can understand that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to go with CP here on this one, man. Ja Morant.
Ja,
right? I've been glued to my TV every Memphis game, and I would have never thought that was going to happen at the beginning of the season. I like this young kid coming into the season.
Did you see what he did to Pirtle?
Yeah, man. Him and Darius Garland were like my two guards I knew I was going to watch during this season. Hence why I drafted them fantasy-wise, just because like I like to watch the guys that I draft. And Ja has this thing about him where every single game you're going to see something that you might have never seen before. Yeah. Like literally every game true. He's giving you something you've never seen before. And I started taking it as far in terms of like guys who are above the rim, like guys who play above the rim and have some crazy finishes. He might be the most exciting person I've seen since Vince Carter.
Derrick Rose, young Derrick Rose was
young Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose was different.
Yeah, Derrick Rose
was different.
Young Derrick Rose was different, but like why I go with Vince is because Ja's doing it more efficiently, and he does it like it just looks different. I don't know how to explain it.
Nah, Jamar, I don't think you watched a lot of Derrick Rose.
No, I watched a lot of Derrick Rose. Man was an MVP. Man was like the most exciting player in the league for a while.
Did you see what he did to Goran Dragic?
Yes, I see what he did to Goran Dragic, but did you just see what that Ja Morant just did to Pirtle?
I know it. I'm just saying,
it's just
Derrick Rose is before Vince. I mean, after Vince. Sorry.
Yes. But that's why I'm saying. But I thought Vince was more exciting than Derrick Rose, in my opinion. Like Vince's highlights and when he got into games was way more exciting than Derrick Rose, in my opinion. So that's why I'm saying, is he the most excited person? He's the most exciting person I've seen since Vince Carter.
Are you talking about on a game to game, or are you talking about
game to game basis? Vince Carter.
I don't know.
I was glued to the TV because I would say the difference between Vince and Rose is. As great as Rose was, small guard, had those weird games where like he was just off, or like the way they game plan for him.
No, but I'm talking about above the rim.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's really hard to game plan, but it just
Westbrook too, like a young Westbrook.
Yeah,
Westbrook too, man.
But I can't. No, Westbrook does not make that conversation in terms of Ja and Derrick Rose in terms of stuff, because the acrobat. Westbrook's an athlete. But those guys twist and turn their bodies in ways that we've never seen. Guys, man, I don't think you guys realize the acrobat and the athleticism that Derrick Rose.
You know what, Westbrook is an athlete.
You know what? I think we're gonna do a whole pod because this is good. I think we're gonna do a highlight pod.
All right, bet.
Where we're gonna look at Russell Westbrook, Ja Morant, and Derrick Rose, because it looks like those are the three top.
And right now, Westbrook and Rose, maybe not Rose because his career was kind of cut short. Like his athleticism was cut short. Sorry.
Yeah.
But Westbrook, just based on the amount of time he's been in the league, his highlights because his highlights already are just up there with Ja Morant. We'll go to Rudy Gobert. When he puts somebody in the rim.
Is it crazy that I already think Ja's already passed him when it comes to like highlights that are memorable?
No, there's no way he passed him. That's crazy, Jamar. Stop yo, Casey.
Yo, man. I'm telling you guys, man. Ja's looking like a mixture of Allen Iverson and Derrick Rose in one.
Yeah, but highlights above the rim. I watch Westbrook sham God and do a no look.
Okay, we gonna do that. We gonna do the. It looks like it's something that needs to happen. We're gonna do a highlights pod where we're gonna compare Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook, Ja Morant, and we're going to let the people decide with us.
All right, bet.
We got to let the people decide who had the better highlights throughout the career. And Ja's had a short one, so he's going to be at a disadvantage right now, but I think he could keep up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
take 10 highlights each person. One of us takes that person. So I'm going to take Ja since I'm big on the Ja Morant.
Shoot, I'm going with Westbrook, boy.
Casey, you okay with Derrick? Like we're saying, like, are you okay with Derrick Rose? Like, that's where we've got it. Like, are you okay taking D Rose?
All right, Jamario, close this out, baby.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, this was fun. Man, I didn't get to really check in with y'all, so quick check in. I know Casey just jumped off the flight from Miami. He had a great time, man. I'm happy to hear that. CP, everything's been good. Everything's been lovely.
I'm good, man. I've been touring Toronto these last couple of days, so I'm on my last couple of tour right now. So we'll see what's up. But I've been good, man. Yourself?
Yeah, man. Can't complain, man. Everything's been great. I'm excited for this next pod just because I know what we coming with. Make sure you like, subscribe, Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We're on Apple now. We're
Everywhere.
big time. We made it to Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. Follow us up on everywhere.
It's down
Follow
below,
the Hoopers
baby.
Paradise. We're gonna have mad content coming. Until then, check in with each other. We finna check out with y'all. Love, brothers.
We out, baby.
Same.